Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today in DDCDP 23, we will study database normalization, but in a very fun and easy way, based on my experience of like 15 years normalizing different databases. I will walk you through very practical steps, and it will be very easy for you to to model data in future in your careers. So let's dive in. So first we will have some theory about what database actually is, and then some database normalization techniques, or maybe database design techniques. So we are not going into details of what first normal form, second normal form, third normal form are. You can Google about them yourself, or maybe on YouTube there are videos. But we will have a 100% practical approach to what normalization is. So they actually will cover all these normal forms. Probably it will get complex if I get into the details of all those three. So we will just have practical in-depth analysis of what normal forms are, but there won't be named normal forms in this video. So it is all practical, 100% practical. So what we are going to do in this lecture is design a database for a jobs website. So database for jobs website. So what will be done on this website? There will be jobs posted by companies. Then there will be users who will be applying to those jobs. There will be job categories and job industry and all that. So let's dive in. For example, you don't know any normalization in databases, or you don't know how to enter data into a particular database. The main advantage of databases is to efficiently save and retrieve data, so that you can save time, you can save space, and even for security purposes it's good to have normalized databases. So for example, this is your first day in and you need to create a database for jobs website. Being somebody who doesn't know normalization, what you will do is we will create a giant table now. You can call it a denormalized table. Okay, so for example, we have a job and the name of this table is jobs. So the columns will be, let us start it from now. Job title, job description. For example, if you click on the job, it should have some details also. Salary, in which company this job is. So for example, company name, and I need to show the logo also of the image of the company. So company logo. So it will be some image file, for example. Once we are entering data, and company phone number, company phone, then we will have, say, website, company website, when to apply for this job. So last date, application dates, maybe last date, which it mentions the last date. Okay, application date, or maybe apply before, we can call it apply before. Then which person has applied for this job. So applicant name, what's applicant father name, applicant phone number, applicant picture, email, okay, which category does this job fall in? So job category, and yes, cover letter, in which city is this job? So city, or maybe we can call it location. If it is a global website, so in location we will have country and then city. Okay, so maybe we can give it in two parts: country, city, and then but we can call it jobs country, job country, job city. What about applicants city and country? Maybe somebody is applying from Argentina, so you need to enter that as well in the applications. So maybe applicant country and applicant city. Applicant city. Okay, for now these are enough to learn concepts. So if it is your first day at some database company, so this is how you will create a database, and you will be happy to have a table where you can save all the information, but that's not how it is. So let us start entering data. For example, we have a job, and the job title is web developer required. Okay, then the description will be some lorem ipsum for now, but it can be a lot of text. Okay, the salary is this, company name is Zong, company logo is zong.jpg or maybe whatever, company phone is this, and company website is www.zong.com.pk. then apply before is some date, so maybe 12 whatever. Applicant name is now somebody is applying for this job, so applicant name is say Mr. Charlie, father name is Mr. Applicant photo, this is charlie.jpg. Applicant's phone, sorry, this is phone, so some phone number, this is .jpg, this is email, or whatever, and the job category is, because this is web developer, so we can call it IT or computer science, whatever. Then in the cover letter you will have to write, the applicant will write, dear this I am applying for this job, blah blah, right? So it can be some lorem ipsum for now. Country is Pakistan, where the job has been advertised, and the city is, say for example, Islamabad, and applicant country is, say somebody from Afghanistan is applying for this job, so applicant is from Afghanistan, and applicant city is Kabul. Then we have some other job, for example, engineer required, and the description is this, salary is this, and the company is, say for example, Telenor.jpg. Phone is this. Apply before some date, so it's 5. Some name, some father name, whatever. .jpg. Some email, and this is engineering. The category is engineering. Cover letter, some whatever cover letter. Then the country is Pakistan, city is Islamabad, and the applicant country is also Pakistan. For example, somebody is applying from Pakistan and it is also Islamabad. Similarly, we can have a lot of such entries. So if you don't know the problems in this table, this is good. At least you have some sort of a record, and you can, for example, if you are going to make entries into this table, you can call somebody that you have applied for this job and things will be going fine. But there are problems in this database structure, and that's what we are going to address now. So for example, somebody else applies for the web developer required job. Okay, so we will again have to make some entry into this table. So again, because somebody is applying for this job, so we will have another row with the same title. The description is also getting repeated. It can be some 5,000 characters, which again are going to be repeated here, because we can't leave this empty, for example. Then the salary is also going to be repeated, because this is the jobs info. Company name is also going to be repeated. The company logo again, though we already have entered the company logo and company details, but we are again going to enter them because of the structure right now of the table. Then the company phone, so it again is being repeated, and the company website, okay. Apply before will also be the same, right? Now the only difference will be applicant name. So for example, it is some Muhammad Kamran, his father name Muhammad Jamal. Applicant phone, that will be different. So for example, this, and the applicant picture will be different, Kamran.jpg. Applicant email will be different, and job category is going to be the same. Cover letter will be different. Job country is, again this will be the same, city Islamabad, and the applicant country will be, for example, Pakistan, and or maybe Peshawar. Okay, so now if for example we have repeated a lot about the same job, which should not be the case, right? Also, for example, the same applicant is going to apply for the engineer required job also. It can get really complex and it can get out of your hands. So for example, for this job, engineer required, the same person, Kamran, is going to apply for the engineer job as well. So what are the changes we in the next row? What we will do? First we will repeat the job details, and then we are going to repeat applicant's details also. Do you agree? So this is double repetition now. So for example, engineer required, and the same will be the description. It can be thousands of words. This is the salary. This is the company where the job is. Then the company logo, then the number, then the website, then apply before, so that is also going to be repeated. Now the application is for Muhammad Kamran, so again we are going to repeat all those details for Kamran in this job. His father name, phone number, Kamran.jpg, his email, and the category is engineering. Cover letter, it can be different for the job, maybe he writes something different, so maybe we also do something different, but at least the information of the applicant is the same, exactly same, just like it was for the other job. Then the same job country is Pakistan and job is in Islamabad. Imagine you have to add a lot of information, so this table could be very large. Then Pakistan and the applicant city is Islamabad. So this is repetition or redundancy all over. This is not the way it should be. So what we can do is we can break all this information into smaller tables, and that's what normalization is. But there are some disadvantages with breaking information into subtables. So you will have to link those tables again, so that the information is in a compact form and related form. So that's what we will do next. So for example, what we can do is we can create a separate table for job. So here we will create jobs table. We can call it jobs, okay? And we will save all the information of the jobs here. All the information of the jobs will be saved here. So let's start with job ID. So what is for primary key? Job ID or job ID, we can call it something like this. So job ID is going to be the primary key. For example, there are 100 jobs in a table. So each job is defined by an ID. Just like your NIC numbers, national identity numbers, that job will be defined by that ID. Maybe there is again a job with web developer required. So you cannot call somebody with the title. If I ask you, show me the job whose title is web developer required. So this is not unique. Maybe there are hundreds of such jobs, but the ID should be always unique. If I ask you to show me the 99th job ID, so that will always be 99, will be just one type of job. But if I ask you web developer required, if there are more than one jobs with the same title, then those will not be unique. So what primary key is? Primary key is a column in a table which uniquely identifies a record, and it will always be the same ID. So if 34 is, for example, web developer required, we should not know a row with the title but with the ID. So 34 always will be 34. Okay. So job ID, we'll further explain it. This is going to be the ID of the job. Then the title, then description, right? Okay. And job category and job city. Job category, job city, and even job company. Okay. For now these are fine enough, and even for further explanation we will make job logo also, job company logo, so that you can further drill it down. And salary, job salary, job ID, title, description, job category, job city, job company logo, and salary. You can apply before also. Apply before. This is going to be a date. So all the specific information about a job should go to its own table. Okay. So this makes sense that with this giant table we will remove all those columns, because we already have now a table for job. But for now, let us create the web developer required job. Okay, this one. So the ID should be 1, because this is going to be the first job in this table. So this is ID 1. Then the title is this one, whatever it is. Web developer required. Description is some lorem, it can be of any length. Okay. Then the job category. So what was the job category here? Job IT. So we can call it IT. The job city is Islamabad, and the job company is Zong. Yes. The job company logo is zong.jpg, and the salary is, say, this, and apply before is some date, whatever it is, 4/5/24. Okay, so this is one record for web developer required, right? The next job is engineer required. So what is going to be its ID? 2. Engineer required, and it again requires some description. Then the category is engineering, job city is Islamabad, and the company is Zong, and the logo is zong.jpg, or maybe Telenor, whatever. Salary is this, and apply before 05/6/24. Okay. So if I now ask you, get me a job, the job from job table whose ID is 2. So which one will it will be? Engineer required. Good. Number 3 is, for example, there is another job which is again engineer required, but it is at some other company. We cannot stress the job posters to have this different titles. Titles can be always the same, right? So for example, again there is a job engineer required, but it's a different job. Remember, this is a different job in a different company. So engineer required is a different job, and the description is also different, for example, and the company category is the same because it's engineering, right? City is Peshawar, company is Telenor, and telenor.jpg is the category. Salary is also different, and apply before, say, 5/8/24. Similarly, we can have another job which is web developer required, and its description is totally different. Category is IT, city is Karachi, and it is in Telenor also. So Telenor, and this is Telenor.jpg's logo, that's the salary, and this is the last date, maybe whatever, 04/02/2025. Okay, now you are good to go with all this detail. Okay, so we have a job table, and there are now 4 jobs in it, and there can be thousands of such jobs. But do you see any repetition in this table also?
Yes, sir.
Where this is not repetition, this is maybe somebody else also needs a title like this in the job, so we can leave it like this. But there is another sort of repetition. Can you tell me where are we repeating again?
Job company.
City, company, or category.
Exactly, job category is being repeated, job city is being repeated, and job company is being repeated, and job logo is also being repeated. Okay, so how many repetitions we have? 1, 2, 3, and this is job company is related with this, so we can call it 1 repetition for now. So these 3 columns can go into their respective tables also. Just like we remove jobs from the main table, we can remove job category, job city, and job company into their respective tables.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the way you also need to break down things. Okay, so first we will create another table and we will call it job category. So job category is going to be another table. It will have cat id, category id, and category name, cat name, or whatever you can call it. So for example, the first one will be IT, the second one will be engineering, and we can have many more also. Engineering, and third is medical. Now a job category will never be known by its name, it will be known by its ID. So if I ask you what is category ID 3, it will be medical. What is category ID 2? This is now primary key of this table. Okay, 2 will be engineering, right? So that's what breaking down a large table into smaller ones means. So now this is a separate category table, and the primary key is its cat ID, and this is now normal category name. So this one has been sorted out. Job category now has its own table. The job city, similarly we will create another table, we'll call it job city, and it will have city ID as its primary key. Okay, city ID and city name. So the first city will be Islamabad, the second one will be Peshawar, the third one will be Karachi, and so on. Fourth one will be Lahore, fifth is say Quetta, and so on. So you can have all the cities into its own table, and this is going to be the primary key of the city ID is the primary key of the table. It means that every city has now an ID. So you might have heard there is a city or town in Sawabi known as Lahore. How many of you have heard of it? Sawabi also has a city called Lahore, district Sawabi. So for example, if I add Lahore here, they have tried to have a difference in it, and they spell it like this, Lahore, but it is spoken as Lahore. Okay, so 6 is Lahore also, for example, and 4th is also Lahore. Right now I don't know which one is which, for example. So if I refer to 4, it would mean the actual Lahore, main Lahore. If I refer to 6, it would mean Sawabi wala Lahore, right? So it means that we are not going to distinguish cities by the names of it, but by the IDs. Similarly here, where it was, for example, the job title is web developer required. Again we have another job with the same ID. So we are not going to distinguish the records with the titles, we are going to distinguish records with the IDs. That's why they are known as primary key. Okay, for example, in our software house, if there are two developers with the same name, for example Jamal, and if I ask you to please call Jamal, so maybe 2 or 3 of them will come here because all have the same name. But if they have some IDs and I ask you to just announce the ID of the developer, and he will just come. So IDs are very important, and they are known as primary key in their own tables. Okay, so now we have how many tables? Job table, job category table, and job city table. Okay, now looking into it, we have the company, job company. So again this is repeating job company Zong, Telenor, and then we are repeating the images also. Okay, so what we can do is we can create another table and call it companies. Okay, so it will have 2 columns also, company ID and company name. Company name. Okay, two columns. So one is company ID is, one will be, say for example, Zong. The second is Telenor. Third is PTCL. Fourth is say Lever Brothers or whatever.
It will have another column of last date, like every company have its own last date of applying.
No, that is going to be in the job. It will remain in the job table. Lever Brothers. Maybe all the companies should be here. So the company ID, name, and we can have another column also, company logo, so that it also doesn't get repeated. So it will be zong.jpg, telenor.jpg, ptcl.jpg, and lever.jpg. Exactly. So all the company relevant information will be added here. So company email, whatever it is, and so on. So whatever information you need should be here of the companies. Okay, it all depends upon your database choice, but at least all the information should go into the same tables, right? Okay, now looking into the job table again, I think all the fields have been sorted out, right? Now we had thought about the job table to be so like this, but right now we have created separate tables for it, and we are repeating information here again. So now we need to do something so that we delete these columns. In job table we have company name, company logo. This is all repeating. So first we will delete it. The column company name we will delete, and company logo also we will delete, and company phone, because they were repeating, and we have created separate table for the companies. We will just create one more table, one more column, companies. We will just call it company, for example. Okay, or company ID we can call it. Now here we just need to check here in which category is this. Zong. It was Zong, so we will use the ID of that company here. So we will just call it company, where it is.
So you have deleted the job.
Oh, sorry.
Job table.
It had to be deleted from the job table. So job category we will delete it from here. The values, the cities we will delete, and the company we will delete. Company and company logo. So we will delete the company information, but just leave the job company for now. Okay, so for job company we have to give the IDs now of the company table. So here in companies it was in Zong, so for example we will just give 1. What does this mean now? This is Zong. Okay, if it is in Telenor it will be 2, because the Telenor is 2. If it is in PTCL it will be 3. So for example, if engineer required is in PTCL, what does this mean? Job company 3 means it is in PTCL now. Okay, so in the job table this is known as primary key. The local column which defines a row is known as primary key uniquely. But if a column has some IDs from another table, the primary key of another table, this is known as foreign key. So these two IDs now are, it's a foreign key. Got it? So foreign key for company table. Similarly for city. So if we have another table for city now, so for example, if this job is in 2, what does this mean? 2 is Peshawar.
Now these foreign keys have all the details of the companies.
Exactly. So we can, we can check what one company is. We will come to the company table and check one, and it will be this. So it has its Zong, JPG, also email, whatever. We just with one column you have access to that table, and you can have all the information of that record. Okay, so the job city is 2 and the company ID is 1. and the job category table is this. So for example, it is in engineering, so what will be the ID here? 2. That's it. So similarly, we can add all the records here. So for example, 1, job city is 3, 2, 3, 1, something like this. Because now in a normalized table, there will be information like this. You will see 1 and 2 and 3, and maybe there are hundreds of columns
Yes, sir.
with just the IDs,
Yes, sir.
and those IDs are foreign keys actually, pertaining to the relevant tables.
Yes, sir.
There won't be any more repetition. So for example, before we were repeating a lot of columns for company. Now with the help of just one column, that is job company, we will come to here. For example, company ID is 1. So even there are hundreds of columns of company details, but just with the help of one column, we can have access to that parent column table and check all the details here. So we don't need to repeat the logo here, company logo here, company email here. Just with one ID, that purpose can be met. Okay. So job company, job city. So all of the information will be in this format. 3, 3, 3. For example, if web developer required has job category of 3, city is 3, and company is 3. What does this mean? It means that the 3 category is medical, and the city is 3 is Karachi, and the company is PTCL. So these, with the help of just IDs, we can refer to the parent ones. Okay, so now we don't have any other repetition. Salary is unique to a job, so that's fine. Apply before can also be unique to a job, so it's native field of the job table. So we don't need to create any other tables, and this table is now fine for the job ID. Is this fine? Now let us go to the main table. So now you can see this is job title, web developer required, description is this, salary is this, blah blah blah, company name. What do you see? How can we improve now this? Because this is job title, all the information of the jobs which we already have created now, job
We
for
have to use the IDs of the job table.
exactly, and then we have also created a table for company. So company is repeating here, and we just need to use the company ID. So with the help of just 2 columns, remember, with the help of just 2 columns,
Yes, sir.
we can use all this information. So what those 2 columns will be, let us just leave it here like this. We will create, maybe this is jobs, we can call it jobs application, for example, jobs application table. Okay, for now let us call it jobs application. So with job ID, another column will be company ID. Okay, but even here we have defined the company already.
Yes, sir.
Each job has its own company.
Company.
So even these are now redundant fields, because a job, this is information already has gone to the job table, and the company name is already in the job company here ID. So even we need to delete these company columns. So it will just be job ID. It will just be.
Job ID.
So for example, for job 2, what is the 2 job? Engineer required.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it has all the information of the company also, because it has here, the information here, you can see the company. So we will have job ID, which is 2, and the applicant name. Okay, we will not include apply before, because in the job ID job table there is apply before already. Company is already also there, company logo is also there, because this is company information. In one column it can have all this information for us. And the salary, this is also job. So we will just use now the ID, job ID. But for applicants, we will use the same again. So applicant name, and applicant phone and all, applicant phone, email, applicant email. Okay, so do you see repetition again here?
Yes, sir. Why not to create another table?
Exactly. So for applicant name, we will have separate table.
Yes, sir.
Again, because if we do it the same way, we are repeating applicants again.
Yes, sir.
So we will create another table and call it applicants. Applicants. Okay. And this is going to be applicant ID, applicant name, email, applicant email, applicant picture, and what else? Phone,
Address.
applicant phone, applicant address. If we are not going to create this applicant table, we will have to repeat all this again here,
Yes, sir.
which we don't want to, right? So for example, the first applicant is going to be afaq, email is afaq@gmail.com, applicant picture is afaq.jpg, and phone is this, address is this, and so on. Father name, date of birth, you can have all the information about the applicant here.
Yes, sir.
And the two number will be who is do number in our class? This, and this at gmail.com, and his picture, all that, email, and so on. And 3 will be Shayan at gmail.com, this at gmail.com. Maybe this is just dummy data, that's why it's the same, otherwise it can be different. Okay, it should be different. So now if I ask you applicant 3, what it would mean? Shayan.
Yes, sir. Shayan.
Maybe there is another Shayan also,
Yes, sir.
Shayan,
Different ID.
but his email will be different, his father name will be different, all that. So if I ask you Shayan can be hundreds of them in a database, but he will be uniquely known by the ID. So if I ask you 4 number, it would mean Shayan, the Shayan of that category. So that's why primary keys are very important. Okay, so now we know we need to remove these applicant related data also. Do you agree? So we will just create 2 columns here. Applicant job ID is this, and applicant ID. So if I say 2 and 3, what does this mean? For job 2, applicant 3 has applied, and that's all. Just with the help of 2 columns, we have created a table, and we now know for this job ID, this applicant has applied. For this job ID, this is known as junction table. This is known as junction table. Junction table. So, and we will name it job application. Okay, we can have primary key for this record also, but for now just you need to know that job, for this job this person has applied. If there is a job, for example 3 and 1, what does this mean? For 3 job, for job number 3, applicant 1 has applied. So for job number 3, which one is this? This engineer required, applicant 1. So who is applicant 1? Afaq. Okay, so with the help of just 2 columns, we have created a table which shows us which job has been applied by which applicant. Got it? So now we have a fully normalized database, at least for this small website, where we know that applicants are applying for jobs, and there are jobs which has companies, and companies, cities, all of them have their own tables, and even the applicants also has its own table. Okay, we can add some other fields to this table also. For example, date applied. So this is unique to this table, so we can have some date. So for example, if a user is applying for a job and on which job he applied, so we can mention it here. It's not repetition, okay, but at least we know when the person applied for the job. And we can have one, this is because going to be a table, we can have one more column. Maybe we can edit the order in tables. The order of columns in tables don't matter, so we can have it at the end also. Job junction ID. So this is primary key. Okay, so the first entry will be 1, the second will be 2, automatic 3, 4. Maybe there are hundreds of applications, so we can, a single application can be known by that ID. So if I ask you the application ID 2, for example, if you have submitted a job and I showed you that your job application ID is 2, so because of this reason. Otherwise this column is not important. This is the information which lets us know for which job which application is applied, which applicant has applied. Okay, so we'll take a break and we'll have another assignment related to this, and see you soon with the actual database. We will create these tables then in the database and then run SQL queries against it. So just with a few tables, and then and remember, all of these columns with the IDs are known as foreign keys.
Yes, sir.
They actually are primary keys in other tables. As another example and subsequent SQL which we will study after this one, we will create a database, a small database for a blog website. So blog website has articles in it written by different writers or users, we can call them. So let us create a table for writers. We will call it writers, and it can be users also. Okay, so for example, there are many professors who write scientific articles on a blog. Okay, so each writer will have its own his own table, a record in the table actually. So let us call it writers or users. Normally it is called users, but we will call it writers so that you know what we are doing. So writers, it will be ID or WID, writer ID, name, username, password to log in, and then created means it will be a date when the user account is created, the writer's account is created. So the writers will have an ID. So for example, one number is Jawad, username is Jawad, password is some random character, and date created it is, for example, this date. Then we have two number user, writer or user. Let us call it users. So it will be UID. So name is Fuad, password is this, and date is some random date. Okay, so this is users table. And then we have blogs have categories also, like for example, articles are about sports, about entertainment, or something like this. So we can call it blog categories table. The name of the table is blog categories, and it will have CID, CNAME, CID and CNAME. So category ID is, one is for example sports, 2 is entertainment, 3 is politics, 4 is technology, and so on. Okay, so these are just tables for categories. This is now category table, this is the users table. Then we have maybe some articles are about a particular region, maybe some city, or so what we can do is we can call location blog location. So it is location ID, location name. For them, one is Europe, 2 is Asia, 3 is Africa, 4 is Australia, and so on. Right? 1 2 3 4. Okay. Then we have the main table, which is for articles. We will create a table for articles, and the table name is articles. So AID, the article ID, title, and detail or description, you can call it. Okay, but each article is associated with a user. How can I write that this article has been written by a user? So here we will have a foreign key for user ID. So if I type some number with it, it means this article has been written by this user. Okay, so AID, for example, one number article is Pakistan vs New Zealand cricket match or whatever. Then the detail, it will have all the details, some lorem ipsum, all the description of the article will go here in this column. And then any user, for example, if I type 2 here, what it would mean? That Fawad has written this article, right? Okay, so this is how the table should be. Okay, now I want also the article to have some category of sports, entertainment, and politics. Okay, so if it has to be in just one category, so we can add a column here, and we will call it category ID or category is fine. So for example, if I add one here, what it would mean? That it is, this article is in sports category. Okay, but maybe there is some article which falls in more than one category. For example, computer science and engineering fields. If there is an article which falls in more than one category, for that purpose what we will do? Shabas.
So we will use the same ID, category ID. In
Here?
Another, yes, sir.
Here, another column?
In another row, sir.
Here. Okay, so it will be 2 Pakistan vs New Zealand, detail will be the same, UID will be the same, and you mean here.
Yes, sir.
So is this not repetition?
Yes, sir. There is repetition, so we will make another table.
Yeah, what's that table called?
Article in category.
Great, that table is known as junction table. Remember the rule, if you see repetition, just realize that this is redundancy. You have to create another table. So we will call that table blog articles categories, maybe junction or something like that, so that you remember the name. So it will have its own primary key, and we can call it ACID or whatever. Okay, so 1 2 or 3, it is known as auto increment. Okay, any new record will have the next ID. Then it will be article ID, and then another column category ID. Now if an article is, for example, one number article falls in 2 category and one falls in 1 also, it means this article 1 is in 2 categories. Okay, there is no repetition. We have just linked 2 tables via this table, which is known as junction table. Okay, so whenever you have something in more than one, this is known as one to many relationship. So you have to create junction tables. Similarly, so we will remove this category column from the main article table now. If an article is written by more than two article users, then what we will do? We will do the same for UID also. But right now, one article is for one user. That's why we have left the UID column in the articles table. Okay. Similarly, if an article is about both Asia and Africa, so if it is just about one region, so we can add region column here and just add some. For example, if we add 4 here, so this article is about Australia. But if this article is about more than one region, maybe Africa and Australia, so what we will do then? Same, we will create another junction table. So we will create another table here, article regions, and it will be the first one will be AGID, meaning the auto increment one. This is the primary key, but the second one will be article ID, and it can be, for example, one number is in Australian region, so this is region ID 4, and one is in 2 also, it means it is in Asia also, so Asia and Australia. Okay, and the region ID comes from this location table. Okay, is this database design clear? Okay, so let us repeat. We wanted to have a block database. For that we need users or writers, and this is just the table for users. And then the block categories. Block will have sports, entertainment, politics, and so on. And then the block can be about a region. So Europe, we can call location as region also. Table name is whatever you need the name to be. Then Europe, Asia, Africa, and so on. And this is the main articles table. AID is the primary key, and this title, then detail, then UID. This means this user has written this article. And region, we will remove the region because for region we already have created another junction table. So we will remove this because an article may fall in more than one region. That's why you need to have something like this. Similarly, an article may fall in more than one category, so that's why we have created another junction table for that. Is this clear? Now we will create this database in MySQL database. Okay, so if you go to your MySQL prompts, yesterday we just studied that how we go to MySQL prompts. So on my machine I will go to, but on your machines you can just click on the MySQL in XAMPP and you will end up on this prompt, MySQL, maybe MariaDB or MySQL. Let me zoom it in for you. Okay, so there are some default databases. Normally if you click type show databases, it will show all the databases in your software, MySQL software. But for this we will create a new database. So the command is create database, and we will name the database as blog. So what it says is query OK, one row affected, one database has been created, means this command has run successfully. If for example there is some error, for example if I type create databases and this, so there is an error now. But if the query has run successfully, so you will see query OK. Okay, so now if we run show databases again, there is a blog database also now. Remember, a database is a collection of tables. Okay, a database is a collection of tables. So we have created a database called blog. Now we will enter inside this blog database. So to do that we will use blog. So what it shows is database changed. It means we are now inside the blog database. Here we will create a table now. Okay, so to create a table, let us go to that. We will first create a table of users. Okay, we'll create a table and name it users. So create table users, the name of the table is users. Okay, create table users, but we need to specify the columns also. For any table we need to specify columns, and all of the uh, it will be inside these two and then semicolon, just like this. So create table users, and inside the brackets, if you sorry create table, let us do this way, users starts. Okay, this is new line character in SQL prompt. Okay, so create table users, we have started the bracket, and then we will specify all the columns. So the name of the column and is data type. So for example, this is going to be UID. The first we will create UID, so it is going to be integers, right? Also this is known as auto increment. Auto increment means that we don't need to specify the value of this field. It will be, when the new record is inserted, it will be automatically incremented. So create table users, and it will be UID, it is int and not null. Not null means we should not leave this empty, but an auto increment is already a non null, so we will leave it for now. UID int and auto underscore increment. So this is the first column, UID and this data type is int auto increment, and then we will create now the second column. And let us do it with auto underscore capital words increment. Okay, so auto increment comma, then the next one is let us check it, name, another one is username, then password. Okay, so let us create these three. Name is varchar and its size is 255. So the column data type is varchar. Varchar means it can have variable characters up to the size of 255. Okay, and not null. Not null means this column should not be null. If you leave it empty, it will prompt you for some error. Okay, so the second column is name, its data type is varchar, and this is the size of it. Maximum of 255 characters can go into this column. Then the next one is name, username. So it again is varchar 255 comma, and it should also be not null. Then password, it is also varchar 255. For now let us leave it as this. It can be null, means if you leave something not null, just empty it can be null then. So password is varchar 255 as well, and then created is some date. Okay, normally unique timestamp we will learn about it once we are in PHP or Drupal, but for now we will leave it as created. The data the column name is created and it is also int. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so this create table users, the name of table is this, then the columns UID, it has int in it, its data type is int and auto increment. Then the name, its data type is varchar and not null, means it should not be null. Similarly username and password, and then the created is int. Now we need to specify the primary key. What do you think should be the primary key? UID. UID should be the primary key. So the last tag should be primary key. Primary key, and then you need to specify which column should be the primary key. So in brackets you specify UID. So it means the primary key should be the UID column. And the last one is you need to close this bracket, okay, this and then the semicolon. So hopefully if this runs successfully, it will create a table for us. And there is an error. Okay, so what's the error? It will also always show you the SQL errors are, MySQL errors are near. It will show you where the error actually is. So you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL server version for the right syntax to use near. It shows near, so error is near this thing. So if you just check it, it shows you it is tables. We have written tables, which is the mistake. If you just press the arrow key, if you just copy this again, for example, and we will change the, let us type it again, or better we'll copy it into a text editor. Remove these to save some time. So the problem was just this, we have spelled it incorrectly. It is create table, not tables. Okay, we will just copy it. Okay, now it has run successfully. What it shows is query okay, 0 rows affected, and that's all. So it means the syntax for table creation has run successfully. And what we have done is, if we now show tables, so we have one table which is users, right? Similarly, we should create all other tables also. So let us do it quickly. Now the next is block categories. The name of the table is block category. So what we can do is create table block categories and bracket start. Okay, so what's the CID column? CID and CNAME. So these are two columns. So CID is int and auto increment, comma, and then CNAME, which is varchar 255 and not null. Not null means it should not be null. And then the primary key, and it is in brackets CID, and we will close the like this. So query okay, 0 rows. If I now see if this table has been created, so it will be show tables. So it now has 2 tables. Is this okay? Okay, the next table is blog location. So create table blog location and bracket open, location ID int, and it is going to be auto increment, comma, what the other one, location ID, location name, it is varchar 255, and and not null, and the primary key is location ID, and inside the brackets you have to specify it. That's it, and then the closing bracket and semicolon. So it will create the block location. If we show tables again, so it will have the third table also. Is this fine? Okay. The fourth table is going to be the main articles table. Okay, the fourth table is going to be the articles table. So the articles is have we created the articles users table? Not yet, or we have? Yes, we have created. Okay, the articles table is going to be the new table. It has ARD, title, detail, and URD. So create table. What it is? Articles, starting bracket, then ARD means the article ID int, and it is going to be auto increment. Then title is varchar 255, not null. This title should not be null. Similarly, then we have the detail. So detail is not going to be varchar because we have a limit for characters count. In varchar, it is going to be text. Text type is it can accumulate a lot of text. Okay, so we will call it text and make it not null also. And then the primary key, then the UID. So UID is going to be int. For now, I'm not going to make it foreign key, but we'll just specify it as a column int, and it should also be not null. And then primary key is, which one should be the primary key? ARD, and then the closing this. So another table has been created, which is, so if we show tables, it will show the articles table also, right? Then these two tables, the junction ones, we will create these ones the last. Okay, I will do it later on, but for now we have these four tables. Now I need to insert some records in the users table. Okay, so these are actually now the tables. We need to insert records inside the table. How can we do that? Insert into. Okay, so we are going to insert records into users. So the syntax is insert into table name. Okay, table name. So the table name is users, and then values.
First column name.
If you have to specify all the values into all the fields, then the column names are not important. But if you have to specify only certain column names where you are going to enter the values, then you should specify. So for example, let us try this way first. Insert into users values. So for example, this will be automatically inserted because it is auto increment. We don't need to specify one here. So Jawad password is this, and then the date. Okay, so Jawad, and text should be inside the quotes. So this is the name Jawad, then comma, then username Jawad, comma, then password, and then password, then created. So created is, as I said, it should be some integer like this. So with int you don't specify quotes, and this insert into users values this and this value count at this. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 3 4. If you specify the auto increment, let us check it. This, okay. One record has been inserted. Let us check. So if a record has been inserted, you can how to query that so that you know a record is there in the table. So select all means all columns from the table name. So select all from users. So if you see, now it shows all the values which have been inserted inside this table. Is this fine? UID, name, username, password and created. Let us check if you want to know what the structure of the table is, so you use describe table name. So it shows you UID is int 11, name is this. It shows you the data types and the way the table was created initially. Describe table name means what is the structure of the table. So I was just checking if there is auto increment there. So there is auto increment. It means the table has been set up properly. Okay, so if you give all the values of the columns, so you don't need to specify, just like we have done the column names. But in case you are going to skip some column, then you will have to specify all the column names. So let us make another entry here like this. Insert into users values. Because this is auto increment, I don't want to specify this value. Okay, it means we have skipped one column from values. So here you have to specify values also, the column names also. So insert into users value, users. Here you have to specify. Should it be in brackets? Okay. Here. So we have missed, and you can know all the column names by describe command, because you don't always remember the name of the columns. Okay. So now we have skipped UID. We will insert it into name, username, password and created. So name, username, password and created. Got it? So this one, this value, the first one will go to this one, the second one will go to username, the third one will go to password, and the fourth one will go to this one. Got it? Insert into users this, and we will make some other value like this, enter. So one row affected. Now if another entry has been made into the table, now I need to see if there are any records added to the table. So what I will do, select all from, all means direct means all the columns. Select all from users. So this is how it is. We have missed one column. Do you remember which one is this? No, yeah, but it still entered it automatically, the two auto increment. If we enter another record, for example, where was it? Let us copy it from here. Okay, so insert into this, insert into users is this, and let us change some values. The username is Wasim and the name is Wasim. Okay, So we are not going to enter the id increment id 3, but it will automatically be inserted for us because we have specified the column uid as auto increment. So one row affected. Now if I want to select this all from users, so now we have Wasim. One more thing, if you need to just select one record, what you can do, you can specify it by any column name. So for example, I want to select Wasim. So what's the id of Wasim? 3. So select all means all columns from users where uid is equal to 3. What this shows is it will just select this record. It is SQL is just like normal English language. Okay, select all the records. All the records means all the columns, the asterisk where the uid is Wasim. So now we are able to see just one record because we have specified it by id uid. Okay, if I, because we have two identical records of Jawad, okay, I want to specify, I want to get all those records which are like Jawad. Okay, so select all from the table name. So users where, so the name of the column is name, where name, if I specify is equal to, so it will exactly search for Jawad. Okay, so now we have two records. It is exactly going to search for is equal to. Okay, but for example, let us create another entry. This one, let us copy it. Let us make another entry and we will call it Jawad Khan. Jawad Khan, okay, and username is Jawad Khan. Now if I select all columns, select all from users, so it shows me all the records and one of them is Jawad Khan. If I search, if I select all records from all the columns from users where name is equal to Jawad, what are you expecting? Two records or three records? Why? Only Jawad. Because it will search for exact match, exact is equal to. Okay, so we again are, and we are not getting the Jawad Khan. What to do with Jawad Khan so that we can get Jawad Khan also? For that we have the like statement, SQL like. And the, if you search something in a website, for example, you search something, it uses like, most probably it uses like statement. So select all from users where name like and Jawad and then percent means it should start with Jawad but it can have anything after that. Percent means it can have anything after that. And select all from user where name like this. So now it searches for Jawad and Khan also. Okay, let us add another record. And this time let us make it Shah Jawad what is it is doing? The mode is something else. Okay, now the name is Shah Jawad. Okay, insert into this values Shah Jawad. Okay, Shah Jawad Khan. Now if we select all from users, so it has Shah Jawad Khan also. Right, now select all from users where name like Jawad. So do you what do you expect from this?
So Jawad from
How many records will be there if I just click enter?
All four.
no, so
Three. Three.
So we need to specify this. I don't know what's the
Percent sign.
Percent before.
Okay.
before the Jawad.
Exactly. So select all from users where name like Jawad. So right now it will search for 3 because it means it starts with Jawad and then the rest of the stuff. So Jawad and this one. So it will have 3 records. But if we specify percent at the start also, and this is usually used for searches in websites. So if you need to search Jawad, for example, so it will search for like percent Jawad percent. Now it will have all the 4 because this percent means Shah here, and Jawad is being searched, and then the last one. Okay, now I want to delete, for example, how important are IDs or primary keys in a table? Because if I ask now to delete Jawad, so it will delete the first 2 records. If I, for example, delete, the syntax for deleting a record is or row, delete from which table? Users. Where name is equal to Jawad. So what do you think it will delete? First 2 records, because we have specified the name and there can be hundreds of Jawads in the database, so it will delete all the. This is very dangerous. Okay, never use any non-key value for deletions, so unless required. So what we can do is delete from users where UID is equal to say 2. Now it will delete the 2 number record. 1 row affected. If I search for select all from users, so all from users, it will not have the second record now. It has been deleted. Okay.
So discuss how we will get the anomalies.
Like
Updation, deletion.
yeah, we will do it once we have specified the foreign keys. So now the record has been deleted, but via UID. So always use UIDs. Okay. The next thing is just like while loop. You in while loops in programming, you need to have some loop ending logic. Okay. Similarly, if we forget this where clause in, if you forget this where clause in delete from users or any table, what will happen? Delete from users. If I just forget where something, I just run this command, delete from users, what it will do? It will delete everything. So whenever you are going to delete a row, the first thing you will have to see is to use where. Okay, otherwise you will end up deleting all the records in a table. Okay, so don't do that. Delete from user. If I click on unless you need to to specify or you need to empty a table, you should not run this command. Okay, for example, there is some mistake in Wasim's name, okay, and I need to make it Wasim Khan. I don't need to delete this record and then enter it again. I just need to update this record. What I will do? Update. We will use the update command. So update which table? Users. Set Wasim, set name is equal to Wasim Khan. Again, if I don't use where here, all the name column will have Wasim Khan in it. If I don't specify where condition, again update users, update table users, set the name column to be Wasim Khan. So where should it be set as Wasim Khan? Where UID is equal to 3. Now it will only change this Wasim to Wasim Khan. But if I don't specify the where condition, it will change all the values. So these two things are very important for you: update command and the delete command. If you don't specify where conditions, all the table will be, even if it has 1 million records, they will be updated or deleted. Okay, so where condition is very, very important. So if I run this now, if we select all from users, so now the name of Wasim will be Wasim Khan. Got it? And let us practice it. If I don't use the where condition and I run this update users, set name is equal to Wasim Khan, so all the columns will be changed. So let us see if this is the reality. And if I select all from users, so all of them are Wasim Khan now. Why is it there in SQL if it is so dangerous? So there are times when you add a new column to a table and you need to have a default value for that, for example. Or there are times, for example, I want all the created date to be the same for some reason. So there you will have to use something like this. Otherwise, use where condition. Okay. Now all the records are Wasim Khan, and we need to change those again. Is this clear? Okay. Now the next, we need to make some entries into block categories, then the location categories, and then the article. So let us quickly do it. We will need to add sports, entertainment, politics, and technology to the sports categories table. Show tables, you should know. So we are going to add the insert into block categories. Which column? The name of the column is CRD. Okay, so CRD values, CNAME, because CRD is auto complement, we don't need to specify it. So insert into block category CNAME values, and it will be for text values you need to specify the commas, sports, like this. That's it. So one row has been. If we select all from block categories, so it will show the one number record as sports. Similarly, the second one will be entertainment, the third one will be politics, the fourth one will be technology. So that's fine for now. The other table is block location. So insert into block location. What's the column name in location? So you can always go to the structure of a table with describe. So describe blog location. So it will show you the column names. So the column name for location name is location name. Okay. So insert into blog location table, and the column name is location name. Values, which values? So for example, Europe. Is this fine? Then Australia, then America, then Asia. That's it. If I select all from blog location, so it will have all the values. Okay, this is all manual stuff, so that you can learn what SQL does for you. But there is a tool which is known as PHP MyAdmin. So if you from your software, you can go to the PHP MyAdmin URL, and from here I also can go to my setup of PHP MyAdmin. So you will have your setup here. This is PHP MyAdmin is an interface built in PHP for my SQL databases. Okay, so the same stuff. The name of the database was blog. So this is that database we have created. Okay, if I click on it, it is showing me all the tables. So it is better solution than this. For example, show tables. So if I specify show tables, sorry, use blog and then show tables. So it is showing me all the tables. Okay, here. But in PHP MyAdmin, if I click on the name of the database, it will show me all the tables. Okay. Then if I click on, for example, we have added some users. Okay. If I specify select all from users, so it is showing me all the users. But if I click on the users browse button, this browse, it will show me all the users. The same thing but in a graphical user interface from the web. So it's very easy. I copied everything. I mean, we updated the record for Wasim. So if I need to change this one, I will just edit it and change it to Wasim again, for example, Wasim Shah, and go. So actually it has used the update statement behind the scenes, okay, for us, and it has been updated now. And even it shows you the SQL query. It does it. You can learn SQL query from here. So update users, set name is equal to Wasim Shah, where user ID is equal to 1. Got it?
Yes.
So you can learn SQL also from here. Now if I need to create another record in this table, the users table, okay, so what I will do is I will click on insert. Where is insert? Users, insert. Why am I not able to see insert here?
So click on edit.
No, maybe there is some permission issue here, but blog location working articles. Maybe this user doesn't have full permissions, that's why. from PHP admin interface. So we'll continue with the creating articles in
इसकी स्ट्रक्चर बताएं यहाँ पर click on blocks database.
but normally it is there as well. So if in the in front of the table, for example articles, if I click on insert, now I don't need to specify the auto increment value because it already will be created for me. But if I click on Pakistan vs New Zealand cricket match, and then the text is some lorem ipsum whatever is the detail of it, okay, and then the UID is going to be some user ID. So for now I will make it 2, okay, and if I insert as new row and go, so it shows one row inserted, right, and it even has created that SQL query for you. So insert into articles, it's the same thing. AID, title, detail, UID, these are the column names, values, null, Pakistan, this, and it creates a, if I just copy this and go to the here, and for example I change Pakistan to India, this is second article. Now in articles we will have how many records? Select all from articles. So we have now 2 records in the, and it has been created by the second user, okay. So it's the same thing actually. So which one of it was easier? Graphical, but you need to practice the command line first so that you know what you are doing. Then you have tools like PHP admin which helps you create all this thing. Okay, so now if I create another article, Atif Aslam concert in Islamabad, and the UID is 1. It means one number user has created this article. And if I select all from, now how many articles will be there? 3. Both of the instances are created to the same connected to the same database, so that's fine. Okay, yesterday we in detail studied what normalization is, okay, and how to create and design databases. Now for some reasons I need to know what this UID 2 is. If somebody asks me which article has been created by which user, which article has been created by which user. So now right now this table shows us the record, the articles, and the UID column is for this 221, okay. But if for example somebody asks me what's the username password of the user which has created Pakistan vs New Zealand cricket match, what I will do? This is a question for you, Shabaz.
When accessed by the foreign key.
If I go to the this, what I mean, this is usernames 1 and 2 are Jawad and Fawad, okay, and then articles is this UID means 2. So what does this mean? It means Fawad, okay. But you as a developer know, database designer know that this 2 is this thing, but in the report if somebody asks you, so you can't tell them that this 2 is actually this Fawad. You can't show them the database like this. You have to give them the figure. They just don't know what the relationship behind is, okay. So for example if I now select all from articles, it shows this, and if you print it and give it to the boss for example, and he will say what is this UID 2 and 1, you will then go to the database table and check, and you will tell him that actually 2 means Fawad and 1 means this. This is not the way out. You have to make the report. So in a table, if it is normalized, there can be a lot of such columns like UID.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what will you do? This is known as joining. Okay, in tables what you need to do is, for example, he just needs the title of the article. So select title from articles. Okay, select title from articles. What does this mean? It will now show just the title of the article, this one's, but he also needs UID also, username also, sorry, name or username, whatever. So if I now ask or DB select title and UID from users, sorry, select what's the, okay, what's the title, select title from and UID from articles. Okay, so now it is showing me just the title and the UID, right? But now that's the thing, the tricky part. We need to show the actual username here, not the this. Okay, so you should follow this pattern. You will never get errors in your joins. Okay, so what I do is select title UID from this table. Okay, the main table is articles. Now the next you will specify left join. Okay, left join which table is this joining? User table. So which table? Yeah, just remember this, which table, which column, which table, which column, consa table, consa column. This is my way of making successful joins. So which table, which column, which table, which column. Okay, so left join which table? Users. If we check the users table, this is the user table. Okay, so this is not enough. So you will check which column this UID is. So which tables column this UID is actually. Where is this foreign key coming from? So left join, it is coming from users table. But which column now? First you specify the table and then column. So which column? You will specify where this table is articles dot UID. In article table it is the UID column. Okay, is equal to, in users table it is the UID column also. If you check the users table, this is the foreign primary key table and there it is foreign key. Okay, so you have to specify that here that the column name is this. So in your native table articles.uid is equal to users.uid. That's how you specify this. Now this is just like electricity connection to another house. You will specify a house for electricity connection and then which pole or which makes the connection. So select title UID from articles, left join users where articles.uid is equal to users.uid.
Why we use left?
There are different types of joins, we'll study it later, but for now left join is okay. So left join, select title UID from articles. Now now we have access to the users table. We are on the articles table, but we have access to the users table. So if we have access to the users table, it means we can fetch these columns, name and username. Okay, so select title UID comma name username. Okay, and if I run it, on, this is on actually. Okay. select title and articles.ord. If two tables have the same name of a column, so SQL thinks it is ambiguous, so you can specify the table name with it. Okay, select title articles.ord, name username from articles, left join users on articles.this is this, and then the semicolon at the end. Okay. So now it is fetching data from two tables. Which tables? Articles and users table. So this is the title, this is the UID of the article, this is the name, and then the username. These two values are ambiguous, were not correct, that's why it hasn't shown us those records. So if I because the UIDs are 1, 3, 4, 5, and in articles we have the UID as 2. So 2 is not there because we had deleted 2, if you remember. That's why it is showing null. If we change the records to, in the articles, let us go from PHP myadmin, I will go to articles, and the UID is 2 and 2. So I will change the 2 to 5 for now. And then this one to 5 also. So what do you expect now? If I refresh it, rerun it, now we have Wasim Khan and Jawad Khan, because now these have been populated. So your boss asks you to show you him the title and the username who created those records for you. Okay, so now it will be just changing the select title is from the articles table, and username is user, and username is from the users table. So it is title, name and username from articles, left join the users table on which columns, the column in this table which is foreign key to the primary key column which is in the main table. So now it is title, name and username. So if for example you have all the columns as foreign keys, the same technique you will have to use. To get the column from another table, you first need to create a connection of the foreign key and primary key. So you have to specify this. Left join which table? Remember this consa column, sorry, consa table, consa column, consa table, consa column, that's it. So which table? Users, articles.uid is equal to, you have to show the connection, that's it. Remember, if now we are there is a rule, n-1 rule. We are showing data from two tables. We are showing data from two tables now. So how many joins we have used? One. You can see we have one join. But say if we have to show data from 10 tables, how many joins we will use? 9. So n-1 is the rule, okay? n-1 is the rule. Another rule is, if you just check select all, because this is the table right now where the foreign key has been used. Select all from articles. How many records are there? 3 records in the articles. If you successfully join, because why are we using the join? My question is, why are we using the join? Because we need to know what this UID is. Why are we using the join? Because we need to know what this UID is. So for that purpose, you will just check which table is this UID. Where is this column? It is in the users table. So which table? Users. And which column? The column which is primary key there and the foreign key here. So if after the join you have the same number of records, it means your join is okay. But after join, if your records are more or less than these 3 records, it means your join is not okay. These are 2 rules, okay? If you need to show data from 3 tables, and let us just do the last part of this exercise, then we will call it the day. So if you go to this table, this one. We haven't yet created this table, I guess. Articles, category, junction table. Okay. Let us quickly create this table from php-myadmin. That is easier. So articles, category, junction. I will go to blogs, and here we have a new table. The name of the table is articles, categories, and junction, or maybe J at the end is fine. Articles, categories, J. Number of columns should be 1, 2, 3. 3. Go. That's it. Okay, the first one is ACID, ACID 1, 2, 3, article ID and category ID. So ACID in length is 11, for example, and here AI auto increment, it means auto increment. So if I check it, it will make it auto increment. Okay. The next is article ID and then the category ID. Article ID, and it should be varchar and 255. Sorry, it is int also. For now 11 is fine. And the other one is category ID. Category ID, it is also int and 11, because if you see, we have, this is auto increment, this is article ID, and this is category. What was the purpose of this table? So if we can know which article belongs to which category. Okay, and go. Sorry, here, just and save. So now another table has been created. Its name is articles, categories, J. This one. And if we go to structure of it, so this is structure described. So asset ID is int 11, and this is primary key also, as well as the key shows primary key, and it is auto increment. It means it will be automatically populated, and then the article ID and category ID. Okay. So in categories, if I go to the categories table, we already have 4 categories, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in articles, we have, remember this is select all. It is showing the SQL query also at the top, select all. Okay. So it has 3 articles. We now need to specify which article falls in which category. So what we will do, we will go to articles, category J. For example, the one number is insert. The first article falls in sports, for example. The category is 2, whatever it is, and the 2 number article or the 3 number falls in one category. And go. Where is save? So now if I go to the table again, it has these 2 values. This is the primary key column, ignore it. So article 1 falls in this category, article 3 falls in this category, right? Now boss has asked you to show him which article falls in which category. Which article in which category? So which table will show you that information? This table, junction table. You will come to this table and show him that this article belongs to this category. Let us also use the second one also. So if I go to where it is, insert. So the second article belongs to, say, 2 category, and go. So if I go to the junction table, now all the 3 articles 1, 3 and 2, they are in these categories. Okay. So if boss asks you, and let us come back to the prompt, if boss asks you to show him which article belongs to which category, so what you will do, select all from, what's the name of the table, this one, articles, categories J. This table will show you which article belongs to which category. Do you agree?
Yes.
It will show you this article ID belongs to this category ID. Okay.
Yes.
And if I just show him these two, because this is just for our purposes, the auto increment, this is confusing. We will just like these two IDs for him, columns for him. So select article ID column, category ID from articles,
Article category.
this one. Okay, so this record is 100% accurate and okay, but does he know what these IDs are? And that's the disadvantage of normalization. With normalization and using of foreign key and primary keys and all those things, you will end up with such IDs only. So this is not explanatory for your boss. So what you will do again? Joins. Shabas, well done. So this is the table where we will fetch records from. Okay, so this is fine if I rerun it this, but the next step is now I need to know which column is this and which column is this. Actually the title, that's very tricky, but if you learn it the way I have made a mental model of myself, so it will become easier for you. Which table, which column, that's the rule. Which table, which column, कौन सा table, कौन सा column, and this should be in order. Okay, so which table this column belongs to actually? Article. So the first thing is select RD this from this, where, sorry, left join which table, so this column is which table, articles, left join which table, the name of the table, articles. So on which column, so here it is article.id. okay, so this table dot article id is equal to which table it is, articles. So articles dot id or whatever, let us check it. Article AID, it is AID. okay, AID. Okay, so we have made connection with one table, but now the second column also needs a connection. Okay, so again we will say left join which table it is, category, which table and which column. So left join categories, what's the name of the table, block categories, block categories. So we have made the connection, we want to make the connection to the table. So which table, left join this table, but on which column. So in this table it is this dot category is equal to the categories table dot CID. Okay, now the left join means, the joins means you have connection now to that table, and once you have connection to that table you can fetch columns from there, select columns from there. Right now we will selecting article ID and category ID from this table, but now we have connection to the category table also and the article table also. It means we can select title and category name from. So once we have connections, so we can now select CNAME from the categories table because we have connection to it, and we can select title from the articles table. Okay, so now if I go to select column names list again, so comma title and CNAME. Because we have access to the articles table now, so we can select its column, and we have access to the categories table now, so because of the joins. Okay, so we can access that category name now, and if I enter it, so if I enter it, these two are this table's record, the first two columns, right? But now it, in accordance with that, it has searched this title, and it has selected this title and category. Okay, now your boss doesn't need even these two, first two. So what we can do is
Remove this article ID. And
exactly. So we connected two extra, total three tables. So how many joins we have now? Two. That's the rule. Okay.
Then we ask for the user as well.
Exactly. So from where you can get the user, you have a mental model of where user UID belongs to. It is in the title tab. Let us do it after this. Okay, so we will now remove these two, category ID, and also the title may be not very explanatory, so you can use as article title, and we can use commas in it. If it has space, it is known as title can be renamed to article title as, and CNAME is not very explanatory, so we can use as here also, CNAME as blog category from this. Now what are you expecting? Just two columns with these two titles.
Article title and blog category.
Okay, so article title and blog. So this report was needed by, if you have heard the job role of a database administrator, for example in Nadra, so they have highly customized highly normalized databases. So on daily basis people need reports and records, so all they do is write SQL queries like these and then print it. Okay, so now we have just two columns, and actually all this is coming from the main article table, but then it is joined to separate. Now Wasim has a very good question also, which person has written this? Okay,
which user
yeah, so which user has written it, where that information is?
So I think article.
Yeah, it's in articles table and in UID. Okay, so what we can do is, you know that you have now from this table, because the main fetching is being done from this table, right? We have the initial select all is from this table, then we go to articles table and blog categories table, right, via left join. So we end up with these two. Now if we have access to the articles table, means we have access to the UID also, but here again we need which table is this, so we need another join, and that join will be via articles UID to the users UID. Okay, so here let us create another join. Okay, we will make another join, left join. Now I need to have access to the users table. This is the users table, and then I can access username, for example. Okay, so the users has the UID column, so left join users. So कौन सा table? Users. On कौन सा column? So users dot UID equals articles dot UID, because you have access to the articles now. So the users dot UID is equal to articles dot UID. It means you have access now to the users table, and here now you can select columns from the users table also. And we will just select column from username. Where it is? User name, and you can specify the table name also so that there is no confusion. So user dot username, and we will just run this query.
So that remove the space.
From here.
Username.
Oh. We have another left join. Let us copy it and fix it in the text editor. So select title as this, cname as this, and comma, users dot username from this, left join articles on this dot article this, left join this on this.
That queue is full, but some texts are in the next line.
Yeah, it's hard to copy. So select title as this, cname as this, from this, left join articles on. Let us remove this thing. On articles. Why am I not being able to copy it fully? Select title is this, cname is this, from this, left join articles on. Okay, this is the name of the table. So what's that table is? This one. Article ID. Article ID equal to articles.aid, left join block. Okay, this query should be running fine. Let us try it. Okay, it's fine. And if you run it in, if you go to the PHP admin query SQL and type it here and run, so it will show you the same query here, and it is well formatted also in it's the same query, and it will have the same output showing you article title and blog title. Okay. So let us do it stepwise here. I will, because now we have access to the article ID and articles have the UID, so comma UID. If I run it, now it shows us the UID of the user, but this is not fine because again this is the problem. So which table it is? Users. And which column? This one.
Yes.
So we will create another join here, left join, कौन सा table? So articles, sorry, users. Even this prompts you for all the tables. So users on users dot UID. It shows you the column names also. PHP admin is equal to which articles is the table name dot AID, sorry, UID. Okay, and instead of this UID now, because we have access to the users table now, so we will make it user name and go. So now it shows us the username also instead of the copy. So now we run it and we are able to see the username also. So you should have the structure in your mind, and the technique is, if you encounter a column which is foreign key, actually 1 or 2, you just need to specify left join on which table, which columns. That's it, that's the rule. So I will give you an assignment of this video. Thank you so much. See you next time.